The recognition paradox. Somaliland versus Eritrea. Why is Asmara panicking? The shocking reality of how an invisible republic is outperforming a recognized prison state in every single metric. One has a UN seat, but no freedom. The other has no seat, but is building a superpower. Discover how history just exposed the biggest lie in the Horn of Africa. Way good fun. Today on Semonegna Spotlight, we examine a fundamental question of statecraft in the Horn of Africa. Does international recognition create a state, or does a functioning state compel recognition? We are telling one story, split in two timelines, comparing the paths of Somaliland and Eritrea, two entities that emerged from conflict with aspirations for self-determination. In 1991, Somaliland declared its separation from a collapsing Somali state. In 1993, Eritrea formally achieved independence from Ethiopia. One was immediately welcomed into the international community. The other was left to build its future in diplomatic isolation. Over 3 decades later, the contrasting outcomes offer a compelling lesson on the true foundations of sovereignty. This is the story of the recognition paradox.
የኤርትራ ህዝብ የራሱን የወደፊት ዕድል በራሱ ለመወሰን ሰሞኑን ባካሄደው ህዝበ ውሳኔ ነጻነትን በመምረጡ ኤርትራ ከዛሬ ሚያዝያ 1985 ጀምሮ ሉዓላዊነቷ የተጠበቀ ሀገር መሆኗን አቶ ኢሳያስ አፈወርቂ አስታውቀዋል።
I want you to know that I'm signing now, as we speak, Israel's official recognition of Somaliland.
The paradox of recognition, a comparative institutional analysis. At their inception, the two nations faced opposite diplomatic fortunes. Eritrea, benefiting from a UN-sanctioned referendum and international goodwill, gained immediate legitimacy. Somaliland, by contrast, was deemed a unilateral secession and was largely ignored. However, while one state received the external validation of recognition, the other was forced to cultivate internal legitimacy from the ground up. The critical difference lies in the political and economic systems that evolved in the absence or presence of international oversight. Somaliland, lacking the financial and political safety net of recognition, was compelled to build a functional, consensus-based republic. Eritrea, secure in its UN seat, developed a highly centralized, authoritarian system. Political divergence, consent versus coercion. The most striking contrast is in political governance. Somaliland's political evolution has been characterized by institutional development and democratic practice, a rational achievement that defies its unrecognized status. Since 1991, Somaliland has seen 5 presidents and multiple competitive multi-party elections, culminating in peaceful transfers of power, including the notable instance in 2010 where an incumbent president lost and stepped aside without violence. Furthermore, it operates under a functioning constitution and bicameral parliament. By stark contrast, Eritrea, since its independence in 1993, has been led by one man, has held 0 national elections, and its power remains centralized and uncontested. The nation's constitution has been suspended indefinitely. Somaliland's repeated peaceful transfers of power, a rarity in the region, demonstrate a deep-seated political maturity. This institutional resilience is the true measure of statehood, achieved through the consent of the governed, not merely through diplomatic paperwork. Economic resilience versus command control. The economic trajectories further illustrate the paradox. Recognition was expected to unlock prosperity for Eritrea. Yet its economy remains stagnant under strict state command and control, characterized by indefinite national service that traps its youth and stifles private enterprise. Eritrea's infrastructure development is limited, its financial system is state-controlled, and its internet penetration remains low. Somaliland, without access to multilateral loans or major foreign direct investment, pursued a radical path of free enterprise driven by its diaspora. The development of the Berbera port into a major regional logistics hub, backed by a $442 million investment from DP World, has transformed its economic relevance. By facilitating trade corridors, particularly with Ethiopia, Somaliland has demonstrated that economic relevance precedes diplomatic recognition. Furthermore, its financial system is highly digitized, with cashless transactions dominating commerce, a testament to its digital sovereignty and entrepreneurial spirit. In terms of human capital, Somaliland boasts over 30 universities and benefits from the return of its diaspora, while Eritrea's system of indefinite national service has led to a mass youth exodus. Asmara's opposition, geopolitics, and selective sovereignty. Eritrea's strong denunciation of any move towards Somaliland's recognition, such as the recent development involving Israel, is rooted in a complex mix of regional geopolitics and internal contradiction. Eritrea's official statement, often framed as a defense of Somali sovereignty and territorial integrity, is viewed by many analysts as an act of selective sovereignty. The Eritrean regime, which itself gained independence through secession, now insists that the principle of territorial integrity must be inviolable, a position that aligns with major powers like China, which Asmara has explicitly invoked. This alignment serves to maintain Eritrea's long-standing anti-Western posture and leverage its geopolitical position. More fundamentally, a successful, democratic, and economically vibrant Somaliland poses an existential challenge to the Eritrean model. The success of a state built on consent and commerce directly highlights the failures of a state built on coercion and control. Eritrea's opposition is therefore not merely about international law. It is a strategic move to prevent the establishment of a successful precedent that could undermine its own authoritarian legitimacy and further isolate it within a rapidly shifting regional power dynamic. The fear is that Somaliland's rational achievement, even without recognition, exposes the hollowness of Eritrea's recognized status. The rational verdict of history. The story of Somaliland and Eritrea is a powerful lesson in the nature of statehood. While Eritrea received the initial diplomatic prize, it failed to translate that recognition into institutional strength, economic opportunity, or political freedom for its people. The result is a state struggling with economic stagnation and a massive youth exodus. Somaliland, denied the prize, was forced to build the institutions of a state, a functioning democracy, a resilient economy, and a stable security apparatus as a prerequisite for its survival. By doing so, it has rationally achieved a level of state capacity that its recognized counterpart lacks. The geopolitical shift in the Horn of Africa confirms this reality. As global powers increasingly engage with Hargeisa based on its strategic and economic utility, the diplomatic gatekeepers are being bypassed. Semonegna Spotlight leaves you with one truth. Recognition does not create states. States create recognition. And history has already chosen its side. Until next time, stay critical, stay informed.